Okay, we're live. Let me get. There it is. Share button. Go live there. Forward there. All right. All the appropriate sharing has been done. Good morning. Good morning, Vietnam. Good morning, Deli Sandwich. That's a unique name. Suddenly I want a sandwich. Subliminal messaging there. Let's see what this button does. Don't know what it does. So, good morning, good morning, good morning. Captain, how you doing, buddy? Assuming you're a buddy. Guess if you're a girl, you could be a buddy too. I'm not well versed on YouTube correctness. So, where are you guys at, and what's the weather doing? That's a good way to start out coffee time. Good morning, Julie. Yes, I'm excited to see what the markets are going to do when they open up today. And a big thing that no one is talking about, and it was kind of quietly dropped on everybody like a nuclear bomb. This thing was Saturday, maybe? Friday or Saturday, that Saudi Arabia unloaded all their U.S. treasuries, their U.S. debt, gone. And nobody's talking about it. And South Carolina, cool weather. Excited, yeah, I'm excited too. Central Florida, hot and humid. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I tell you, in case you don't know, we're on assignment in Mississippi. The heat and humidity here is worse than Florida. It's unreal how hot it gets here. There's no, you either have like no air moving, or you have like knock you down wind. But anyway, squirrel, back to Saudi Arabia. I think that that's going to have huge impacts on the stock market. If not when it opens today, I think this week, you're going to see some major ripples in the stock market from the Saudi Arabia fallout. And it's kind of like blowing my mind and nobody's talking about it. What do you guys think? So as you're joining in the chat, just sound off, let us know where you're at, and let us know what your weather's doing. Hawaii, good morning, aloha. Yeah, my mom and brother lived in Ocala, and visiting them in the summertime was hot and humid. Good morning, Lord Sword. Texas is hot. Texas is always hot. Lived in Texas too. Justin, Texas. Lived there for a minute. Home of Justin Boots. Nice and cool in PA. The spring roll. Southern Ohio, Company 53. Yep, live in Southern Ohio too. Hamiltucky-ish. If you're from Hamilton, you know it's called Hamiltucky. And then my roots, my mom's side of the family is from Kentucky. My my dad's family, my great grandmother is Cherokee on my dad's side, and then most of his family live in Phoenix. Okay, our guest from Hawaii, I have no idea how to pronounce your name, and I apologize, but it's looking good for Iraq to go. Um, you know, I've said for a long time that I think they're going to go first, and I've caught a lot of flack about that. It could all happen at once. Iraq could be like kicking this thing off with their threat of doing their rate change. It may be the last thing to kick off the global RV. Either way, I don't care because it's it's something moving forward. So, man, after watching Militiaman Saturday morning with Mark, um, I can't help but feel like we're knocking on the door. Oh, I can't do that. My German Shepherd will go into attack mode. Let's cut up here. Kentucky's in the house. Maryland, Julie from Maryland. Thank you for reminding me, Forever Patriot. Everything you're seeing and viewing on my channel is for entertainment purposes only, and I am not a financial advisor. So thank you for that reminder, because I'm horrible about that. Yeah, thanks. If you would hit that like button, I appreciate it. Share with your friends if you have friends who are in this or getting in it. If they've been on the fence about buying some currency, now would be the time. Yeah, Militiaman was like, man, he was hitting home run after home run after home run Saturday morning. I mean, I watch him pretty faithfully, and he's it's just not his nature to be animated and like overly excited. But man, he was like a kid at Christmas Saturday. What's your weather like, Julie, in Maryland? Cool and 59. Yeah, it's what is it? We're already sitting at 71 and about 7,000% humidity. I am so my growing up in Ohio, fall is my favorite time of the year. And like I physically have seasonal cravings. I like about it started about last month. I start like on Instagram, all these like fall things start filtering in. It's like, oh my gosh, it just it makes me y'all who are in the Ohio area ever been to Kings Island and their fall festival? I can't remember what it's called now. It used to be called Fear Fest because they did the Halloween stuff. but they've changed the name so many times. But I miss that. It's probably about the only thing I miss about Ohio is Kings Island. Is that bad? Eastern Kentucky, 54. Sweet tea. Thought we would. Well, I wasn't. I wasn't expecting to wake up to the RV. There's still some steps that have to happen. We always wish that we're going to wake up to it. Yes, I agree with that. But it'll be interesting to see what the market does when it wakes up. Uh, and I don't know about Forex. Somebody asked me in the comments when Forex goes live or whatever. I don't know. I don't really know a whole lot about Forex, just because you can't. We as non-bankers or non-traders don't have access to the real Forex, the back screen stuff. So I've never really like dove into it too much. But yeah, when all that stuff comes online today, it'll be interesting to see where we're at and the fallout from Saudi Arabia. That's why I'm like kind of excited to see what happens with that, because that could be a tsunami. What I mean by that is a tsunami starts out in the ocean with like some sort of like earthquake or tectonic plate shift or something like that. So it's kind of like a blip out in the ocean, and then as it rolls in, it builds up momentum and steam, and then comes crashing down. So it's kind of what I'm thinking about with this Saudi Arabia news is that it could be our black swan tsunami. Timing. It's all about timing. And this news came out, I think it was Saturday. It's like, oh, by the way, Saudi Arabia just unloaded all their U.S. treasuries and totally ditched the dollar. In other news, so what questions you guys got? I appreciate you being on here this early in the morning. Appreciate your time. Just reading your comments, make sure I didn't miss anything. All right, what else you guys want to talk about? So does everyone understand I know I've talked this thing to death, but does everyone understand deleting the zeros and how all that's going to work? It's like Mark has been explaining this for a long time, but it's like people can't. I don't know if it's just the moving the decimal places and all this. It confuses a lot of people. So I don't want to overtalk it, but if someone's still struggling with it, I'm happy to help. I don't know. The stuff that's going on in Aurora, one of the rooms I'm on in Telegram, there was someone who has family members that live near Aurora. The way that person was describing it, it's kind of a rough area to begin with. I don't know. I've never been there. Don't know anything about it. But with all the talk about the Hells Angels going there, I can't help but feel like we're being played. Because number one, if it was kind of like the, in Canada when the freedom truckers and all that stuff were going there, and then the police came out and were running interference with that whole operation. So it kind of feels like the same thing that like if the local police knew that the Hells Angels were on their way and it was going to turn into a war zone, that they would be stopping them before they got there. And then I think someone on one of Mark's chat things was saying that the Hells Angels have an annual bike rally somewhere around there, and they were just planning on driving through. And that could be like a I'm riding through here, and I dare you to say something or do something, and then setting themselves up for a fight. So I don't know. I haven't really invested a whole lot of time in that. There was something I think Sweet Tea shared in there about the gangs in Chicago are basically saying to uh, the invaders, mess around and find out. A double toothpick hole. Not sure. That's a new one for me. Not sure where you're going with that. If Iraq goes alone, we are definitely double dipping. Wise decision. I would be exchanging immediately. Yes. So here's the thing. If Iraq goes first with the real effective exchange rate, and they come out of the gate at, let's just say, 380, just throwing a number out there, you won't be able to double dip and you won't be able to double dip in dinar because when you turn around to buy more dinar, it's going to be 380. So it really wouldn't benefit you. Now, as far as like buying other currencies, yeah, you could. And I think it was Sweet Tea in one of my rooms brought up the point that it's imagine from the Treasury or whoever's in charge of the RV's point of view, if Iraq goes first and all of a sudden we run out and we buy every dong, boulevard, and whatever else that we can get our hands on. People who are watching this and people who are involved in this, we eat, sleep, and breathe this because we're waiting for that windfall. As far as the rest of the world is concerned, as far as these other nations are concerned, the amount of currency that we hold, and unless you're a whale, and I doubt any whales are watching me, but if you are, I'm flattered to have you. But unless you're a whale and you have, a semi truckload of pallets of currency, we're not even a blip on the radar. So as far as like Iraq going, and then we run out and buy all the other currencies, um, I don't think that they're concerned about that. If that makes sense. But yeah, if the banks open up today at whatever rate and dinars, you can go to the bank and exchange dinar. You'll see me hopping in the Jeep and going to the bank. So I don't care if it's 76 cents, a dollar. I'll be going and doing some exchanging. Good morning, Eric. All right, guys, as you're popping in here, let us know where you're at and what your weather's doing. But here's the other thing with Iraq going first. That giant influx of money changing hands could be the straw that breaks the RV back and it makes everything else go. So we could see Iraq go first, and then in the next day or two kick off the rest of the RV. going back to the invader, the illegal invaders. Um, it's kind of funny to me that the thugs are stepping in to defend their cities while the law enforcement officers have their hands tied and have to basically defend the invaders. That's the messed up world we live in 2024. It's just messed up. Just messed up. What other questions you guys got? What do you want to talk about? Oh yeah, so this is another almost taboo topic. Do you think Spring Roll says? Do you think there will be 800 numbers or redemption centers? When we first got into that, there was this unicorn mystical theory of pop up facilities where we were going to have redemption centers, and they were going to be Marines out front with ARs and M16s and whatever. Um, I think it's probably just going to be at a bank. Um, yeah, I do expect there probably will be security there, but I doubt you'll be able to say, "Oh, yeah, there's a security." They'll be low key. Here's what I think: if Iraq goes first, so say 9 o'clock, whenever the banks start opening up, Forex says it's live, it's at whatever whatever rate it's going to be. Then you'll just go to the bank. You call ahead, um, and find out if they have the Delarue machine, if they can verify your currency on site. If not, I wouldn't even mess with it. I would get on your phone and find a bank that can do that. And I asked Mark a while back if it's the Iraq goes first scenario, would there be some sort of um, guidelines as to who to contact? And he said there would be. So take that with a grain of salt. If it's the global RV, when I say that, I mean the 209 countries in the first basket. If that rolls out, then I would think that there would have to be some sort of 800 number email verification, something along those lines, just for order and not to have chaos and people, because in chaos, so like if it was just left up to us to figure it out, that opens the door for people to get scammed and to be tricked out of their money by bankers. Bankers are always going to be bankers. They're always about getting easy money. Um, so if it's that whole global scenario, and then that kind of ties into, is it going to be Nasara? Because that's what we've been told, that when that happens, everything, the gold is released and all that stuff. Whether you believe in Mr. C or not, just take that out of the equation. But all the nations are supposed to be gold backed, and then all the other parts of Nasara goes into play with the government and the politics and all that stuff. QFS is supposed to come online. So if all that stuff has happened, then that is supposed to add security to our transactions. So with all that being said, if it's the global RV and Nasara and all that stuff, I do believe there's going to have to be some sort of 800 number. You call 800 number, you get an email, verify who you are, and it gives you an 800 number, something along that line, just to keep us out of chaos. So that's my take on all that. Captain, have you heard about? I haven't heard anything recently about the Brunson case. I don't know if it's just the the ace up the sleeve trump card, um, and that would be awesome. If they just popped the hatch and said, "Oh yeah, by the way, over 2020 is overturned and Trump's reinstated," and Nasara happens, immediately thereafter. That would be awesome. But I haven't heard much about the Brunson case lately. Sweet tea, how many people do you think hold currency in the US? Again, this is our world. We eat, sleep, live, breathe this 24/7, 365. So we're like this, tunnel vision. Um, I don't think there's as many people that hold currency as what we think, as what we perceive, because, like I said, this is our world. Um, and the reason I say that is because I've tried this journey to introduce it to people, um, and people who I thought would buy into it, and I've got shut down. So I think for the majority of the country, it's too much fantasy land to believe that something you can buy on eBay is suddenly going to be worth millions of dollars. So I don't think there are that many currency holders um, in the United States. Certainly a small percentage, and there may be people who picked up a 25K note just because. But I wouldn't say I wouldn't put them into the category of currency holders in the sense that they follow stuff like this, like we do. What's my opinion on Mr. C? I think I wholeheartedly believe Mr. C is genuine and that he wholeheartedly believes everything that he says. And I believe that when all this was supposed to happen years ago, that everything that he told was probably legitimate. And I'm not, hear me out. I'm not saying that what he says isn't real. It very well could be true. I mean, this whole thing is you have to have, instead of a faith the size of a mustard seed, you got to have faith the size of a bushel of watermelons. So I believe that there's no one involved in this process who is more knowledgeable than Mr. C. And just listening to him speak, you can you can gather that. Um, and he has been asked and said on numerous occasions that if he's just a marker for people, black hats or whatever to track, and he isn't really being used in the role that he was told. As long as he gets his money, he's fine with it. He doesn't care. So that's kind of where I think it is. I think he's definitely a marker out there for people to track. Um, but I don't know. It's like I said, it sounds fantastical that him putting in a code and it unlocks gold and connects to all the if you have the gold over here and then you have the RB over here in the Sara, and then he puts the codes in that connects it all and makes it go live. If you can believe that a 100T note from Zim note 100T is going to be worth $50 million, and it's not that much of a leap to believe that he's going to do what he says and it connects everything and makes it go live. That's my opinion on it. And he's definitely owed his pound of flesh for what that man's been put through. Julie, I read that one 1 million people in the U.S. follow this RV, and that's yeah. It's a slim number. Andrew, thanks for sharing your opinion. But yeah, so I don't track Mr. C a lot just because it's either going to be a big truth or a big distraction, but as long as the man gets his money, I don't care either way. What else you guys got? All right, Andrew, one more and you're out here, buddy. Mr. C is not James Bond, and this is not. No, it's not. But like I said, if we can believe that our currency that we bought on eBay and wherever else we bought it from is suddenly going to be worth millions of dollars, then it's not too much of a stretch to believe that Mr. C believes what he's been told and could play a major part in this, either doing the codes or being a distraction. So. Breaking news: former New York Governor Andrew Cuomo will testify publicly before Congress for the first time regarding his COVID nursing home policies. Super fantastic. Another distraction. Forever Patriot, I heard 12 million worldwide. Yeah, so yeah. Florida probably does hold the most amount of people with the currency are involved in the RV. When does Militiaman post next? He usually starts blowing up Patreon around noon, but he's kind of random like me with jumping on YouTube. But he during the week he usually does one every afternoon for in his time zone. Cap, yeah, I saw that too. The 100 note to one of the guys on The Apprentice. And that's kind of my thought on when their roles may have changed for Mr. C is when Trump got involved. Once he was president and all that, or knew about it. Because I remember Mr. C saying he met Trump or spoke to him, or I can't remember exactly, but and that's kind of the other thing with all this Nasara and Mr. C and basically all of it. When this was supposed to happen years ago, it was a much smaller, simpler plan, I believe. And now that time has progressed, it's morphed into this multi-tentacle beast that isn't as simple as it was when it was first conceived. Captain, that's all I had to see. Absolutely confirmed. Yeah, I mean, it's real, and it takes it takes grit, determination, and faith to stick with this roller coaster. you definitely have to have long suffering to have been on this ride for all these years. And there's people that's been in it way longer than me, and I'm like, I don't know how you guys have done it. So, all right, what else you guys going want to talk about? So we've discussed weather, illegal invaders, Mr. C. We've had the full gambit this morning. So we have about 2.5 hours till the market's open. Eric's been in it for 15 years. God bless you, buddy. Think anything happens on the 6th of September. I don't know. Give me some. What are you referencing, Sweet Tea? What about resetting gold and silver? I think that'll happen when um, the advsor and all this stuff goes into effect. If you have the means to buy, especially silver, I would do it. Definitely invest in silver, gold too, but it's kind of like gold's the dinar and dong is silver. You can afford to buy more silver right now than you can gold, so put your money in silver. Good morning from Chicago. So, Shy Virgo 21. So what's your take on the invader situation there? Oh, Sweet Tea, I have not heard much on the Brinson case lately. It's definitely not on the radar for the rooms that we're following. Yeah, they are definitely trying to squash um, the legitimate intel that's coming out about the event that happened on the 11th. It's been on Twitter. They are doing the community guidelines BS, hot and heavy on that topic. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that anniversary date rolls out this year. If there's any disclosures. How do you solve a problem like me? Yeah, there's definitely disclosure coming out about 9/11, uh, and more proof that um, it was a huge psyop as far as what we saw on TV with the airliners and all that. I'm sorry, jet fuel cannot melt a building. Strongly agree it was an inside job put behind bars awaiting. But yeah, if you hear of any threats of something happening on the 11th, I would be safe, but I wouldn't put too much stock in it. So, what do you guys think about all the reports of military occupying hotels in New York? So, Shy Virgo, um, are you seeing a lot of the invaders there? Is what we're seeing on media outlets, true? And everyone chime in. So, whatever part of the country you're in, are you seeing roaming gangs of Venezuelans or whoever? Because I do think that a lot of that, and I'm not discounting anyone who has been attacked by these illegal invaders. I am not. But at the same time, I understand that there's a lot of fear porn that goes along with that. I hope I don't get flagged for saying that on YouTube. And I absolutely hate having to watch what I say. But there's a lot of fear hyped up about it. And anything you see on mainstream media or the majority of media period is not is not accurate. If they say go left, you should go right. What do you guys got? Throw some stuff at me. And I'll share my opinion because that's all it is. News. How do you solve a problem like me? Which is the best coffee? My favorite. I can't remember the name of it offhand. I found it in Florida. And then Costco started carrying it. I have to get a picture and show you, but it's organic. It's that share market where they do fair pricing to the growers and the farmers, and then I get the whole beans, and then I just as I do like a small batch, grind it up, and then I leave the rest of it sealed up, and then once I run out of the ground up stuff, I grind up some more. And this is like I don't want you to think that like I have like a barista set up in my. This is all stuff I get on Amazon. My wife works for Amazon, so we give a lot of money back to Amazon. But yeah, it was like a little, I don't know, $15 coffee grinder. But the coffee is awesome. It's a dark roast. Man, I wish I could get it. Stand by. I'll be right back. And I'm back. Sorry, because it was going to drive me nuts. So, Charleston Coffee Roasters Signature Blend. And this is the Costco size bag. The other one's like this big. So, and that's my robot starting. So, it's a hot mess express here this morning. Give me a second. Shark. Pause. How do you solve a problem like me? How hopeful is everyone that this week will bring something public? Very hopeful. Medium roast and Colombian. Yeah, that's good stuff. All right, so back to this. There's something about our coffees are grown by those who practice sustainable farming and biodiversity. USDA organic, bold roast, whole bean, full complex flavor with chocolate afternotes and a smooth finish. So yeah, it's good stuff. I highly recommend it. I do every once in a while. I'll get some of the Death Wish coffee when I need some caffeine. Definitely will energize your morning. Sweet tea. I love your optimism, sweet tea. All right, guys. I know everybody's time is important. I don't want to keep you on here too long, just chit-chatting. Sweet tea, we need some major disclosure. We need something big to wake people up. Mark. Yeah, 2008 and 2009. Math is not my strong suit. The rates that Mark has said forever is 50 million per 100 T note. Yeah, definitely. If there's any, Captain says come back later when the market's opened up. If there's any news at all, I will jump on and do a little as fast as possible thing. If it's big news, then we can jump back on and do another live. I'm hoping for big news. I'm hoping it takes up my entire day. But all right, guys, I'm gonna jump off here and let everybody get to their day, and hope you guys have a great day. I greatly appreciate your time that you guys are investing in watching this. It helps me, find topics to talk about. So hopefully, guys, fingers crossed, this is the week that we see. If nothing else, we see Denargo, but hoping for the big fireworks. So enjoy your day, and we'll see you later. And see y'all.